on this episode, I'm going to try and change the bonnet cable. Now, the reason I'm changing it is there seems to be a little bit of stretch in the cable. And I say that because when I pull the handle inside the cabin, I feel as if it's the last millimetre or so of me pulling on it that it engages and pops the bonnet. Now, I've had a look at the mechanism. I don't think that's the problem. It seems to be sort of loose and releasing the bonnet and the mechanism freely. And there isn't really any much more to it other than the cable. So I'm hoping that's going to be it. Now, the cable is obsolete from the dealership. You can get the cable online, like there's people on eBay selling it and things like new old stock. I don't know that there is even an aftermarket option, but I've managed to source a new old stock one, so I'm going to give it a go at swapping it over. There's a few bits of trim to remove. I think I'm going to have to take the wipers off, take the scuttle panel off, but other than that, it should be fairly straightforward. And for what it costs for a new bonnet cable and potential that it might snap, I feel like it's a good job to get done, and hopefully that'll fix it. So we'll see how it goes. Just a quick run through. You've got the attachment of the cable here, that little ball and the cable there that's attached here. As far as I'm aware, there's a clip under here somewhere. There's the cable, and it feeds into the inner wing there, into there. And as far as I'm aware, it comes out somewhere around here behind the turret or under the wing. So I've took the caps off here. You need two 13mm nuts to take off. Now, my wipers will come off because I've had them off loads of times, but if you haven't had those off for a while, you might need a wiper removal tool to pull on these, because they can be an absolute nightmare to get off. Now, take those off. You sometimes get markings. I think my wipers could go down a little bit. There's a mark there that you can just about see. So maybe my wipers could go down a touch. Anyway, I'm not interested in that at the minute. But they need to come off so you can get the scuttle off. Now this will just come off. Be careful with it if you want to keep it in decent condition, because they do tend to tear as rubber gets older. And then just pull this one off as well, this side. Just lift. That's it. There we go. So put this over here. And there's the bits there. You've got those. Some people replace these. You get some nicer looking ones. I've just left the originals in, but there's the two caps and there's the 3 pins for the panel, the trim that goes on the front. So yeah, you start to see under here is where I need to be, and without taking those off, it ain't coming off. Inside the cabin where it comes through, you've got, I've already released, if you haven't watched the last video, you'll see, oh sorry, not the last video, a couple of videos when I did this panel here, I just left this off because I knew I was taking it off. So that's just 2 screws that hold that in position, just on there like that, up there like that, and that screws onto there. So I've left that off. So the cable, you can see how the cable's just like a bike brake handle. Just gonna have to pull it out, pull it through. So yeah, let's get these wipers off, and then I can see where the cable's going, where it emerges from one end to the other. Right, you've got the cable down there, you can see where it goes through, and then you've got further down here, if you want to take this scuttle panel off, you'd have to undo the loom there and the washer pipes, hoses. I don't really need or want to do that, so I'm just going to leave it as it is for now. It's out the way enough that I can see the cable. So if I look under here, you can see the cable is attached just there. It comes along into the mechanism, and it's attached there as well. There's one there. So I need to pull those off and hopefully get this cable off. So, a couple of things about this. The original one, let me just get the new one next to it. So, part numbers and that all match, so I'm happy about that. But it's really stiff here. Look at that. Just hold it with my foot. It's very, here, cracking. And I know that's just the sort of sheath around it, but it's, now I tried to cut it at one point to get it out, because I had to turn the camera off because it was being really difficult to get it out. It's very, very difficult to snap. I can't imagine these snapping very easily, which is reassuring, but it could explain why this is becoming really difficult to pull, because the cable mustn't be pulling through the sheath very nicely. So let's see there, it's obviously very dry and brittle and old. So anyway, I'm going to try and get the new one in. There's that end that goes into the bonnet latch, and there's the other end which goes into the handle, and the grommet that goes into the scuttle tray. So, and there's the new cable. So we'll get this all put back together, and hopefully that goes okay. This is a bit of a pig. Right, I've managed to get the cable down this end, but I've had to take the arch lining off on here and then feed it into there first, and then and I have to somehow like bend it and push it into the hole there and pull it right through, because I can't get it, I can't feed it through this way up to here and then down there, because I can't get the angle that I need to push it down through all the insulation. So these just go onto there. It's very difficult to show anybody what it looks like. That's all on there. So these just go onto there. It's very difficult to show anybody what it looks like. That's all on there. So the only thing left to do really is to get the grommet back in. The cable is up there, and I think it just flaps about really. I don't think it's held in with anything. Up here, nothing that I can see anyway. It comes into there that way. Right, okay, I thought I was going to get away with this lightly, but it's a bit of a pain. It's doable, but its access is a bit rubbish. So I've got that in now, the bung's in. I was just giving it a wipe and just checking that it's sealed, and it is. So the bung is in, the cable is in there, and then it comes down and it's across the wheel arch there. It's just held up with the liner really. As far as I know, there are no fixings holding it up here. So there's that. And then it comes across here. There is a white clip there, but mine is snapped, and I did change it, and it didn't really last very long. It's not really in a good angle to hold it. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But it's held in here and here, and it's into the latch there. So just need to button up a couple of bits and then see if it actually is any better. That's back on there now. It's on there. So that's good. Yeah, and we'll put it back together and give it a go and see if it's any better. is so much better. That is so much better. Okay, right, so it's done, it's fitted. I'm really happy with it because you just pull it slightly and it pops the bonnet. That's perfect, that's the way it should be. So the wipers are back on, the caps are back on there, the scuttle tray is back in place. Careful when you put the scuttle tray on, you don't bang it into place. There is a few people that I know of who've inadvertently cracked the screen by doing that. So be careful with just putting that trim, and you shouldn't really need to squash it into place. It should kind of just find its place, and just slight bit of pressure should get it into the little trim at the bottom of the windscreen. The trims and stuff are all back on. The only thing I need to do is I need to torque the wheels up, the wheel that I had to take off to get to the arch liner, and yeah, that's it. So if you want to try and find that part, I'll put the part number in the description in the bottom. And I hope you've enjoyed watching that. I tried my best to get the best angles and stuff. It's really fiddly getting that little grommet on at the end and feeding the cable in through the arch liner and around the front of the front panel. It's not easy. So I've tried my best. Hopefully when you watch it you get the gist of it. It's not very difficult. It's just plain awkward really. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying the videos, and thanks very much. Cheers.